Hey, hi, hello, my name is Cozy, and welcome to our compendium. Today, I've got some art I've been working on for a collab with TheKittyCatLane. I've linked their channel on the iCard, as well as their video in the description below. If you'd like to just go and check that out first, then you can come back here and continue watching. For our video, we decided to grab a randomized character description, and both of us had to create a character based off of that description. I do have a little bit of audio and recording from whenever we rolled that character, so I'll go ahead and let you see.
Let's go ahead and just hit this refresh to see what else we got. Okay. So we've got blue short hair that almost fully covers a bony, warm face, woeful hazel eyes, set narrowly within their sockets, watch vigilantly, on that one, over the people they've watched over for so long. A beard seductively complements their and leaves an intriguing memory of their fortunate destiny. There's something curious about him, perhaps it's their sensitivity or perhaps it's simply their composure, but nonetheless people tend to wish to get to know them better, while awkwardly avoiding talking about their past. Okay. I think I can ixnay the beard, but otherwise I think that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go ahead, I'll send this to you.
Now that we know what we're drawing, why don't we get into the process? The character I drew today, I decided to rename instead of using the name that the website gave us, just for a little bit more individuality as well as a preference. I don't usually like random generated names, so I've decided to give him the name of Elmer, no last name, because also naming is horribly awful for me, so I decided to just take some time and to rename him. He's a pretty short guy, relatively squat, for my own personal preference, as well as the fact that he was supposed to be a gnome, so I kind of like to give him a little bit more of a chunkier status. I leaned, I guess, a lot more into halfling than gnome at this point, but you know, what can you do? I decided that one of my biggest inspirations for him was going to be a mix of high fantasy D&D and retired dadcore, just because I figured that would make the most sense for this character description, as well as, honestly, it's just a lot in my comfort zone and I enjoy this type of character. As for what he's wearing, I took a lot of information from fishing gear and anime, as well as some monk and warlock inspired outfits to kind of come up with the mishmash that I have. One of my favorite details, though, has to be his fanny pack. I decided to slip on and add a little more interest to his waistline instead of just a classic belt, and honestly, for a little extra lore and flavor, I decided to make him have a pet mimic that he picked up on his adventures that he just carries around with him everywhere, and that's his fanny pack. Yeah, well, you know, he might just feed it some adventures. You know, people who are up to trouble. And this is where I should probably talk a little bit about Elmer's past. So a little about Elmer. When he was younger, he dreamed of becoming an adventurer. With all the stories around the campfire in his home, he'd often go to the bulletin board because of this, looking for small quests, as he'd call them. It took a while, but when he finally became old enough, he took on his first mission,
where he met a small group of individuals that he bonded with quickly and got drawn into their shenanigans. It was a lot of fun. Elmer adored being in the group, and they even somehow managed to tame and befriend a baby mimic that the party decided to nickname Chester, because when they first met him, he was turned into a pile of drawers. Everything seemed to be going good for their little adventure party until one day, a great tragedy befell the world, and subsequently his party. The skies split apart, and demons tore through the realm, and Elmer was the last surviving party member. He had been told to go and hide while the rest of his group took care of it, as he was the youngest technically out of all of them, but they never made it back. Now he considers himself retired from adventuring, and while he will step up at the plate if needed, his old party still haunts him, and he avoids talking about them as much as possible.
All in all, he's an old man with a bad back, some hidden powers, and a not-so-pleasant past that makes him nervous to chat about it to everyone around. But I figure he'd stand up to others if the situation was right and he knew they absolutely needed help, but not a moment before. I will admit the colors for me with this were a bit of a struggle. While I got the blue hair and the hazel eyes from the description, everything else was kind of on my own to pick, and, well, one, I didn't stick with just hazel eyes because I am a weeb and extremely dramatic, but two, also I had some issues with just figuring out where I wanted the color scheme to go after I gave him blue hair. While doing some research, I decided on a triadic color scheme, or something similar to a triadic color scheme, doing a nice mix of blue, green, and gold as the major colors for him. The pop of red was honestly my favorite detail, because it was right next to the green, and everyone loves a little bit of Christmas, right? I'm kidding. Green and yellow are probably my favorite combinations for colors, so that's also, I guess, why I kind of leaned in that direction too. I gave him some nice heterochromia and added in a necklace that I put some fish scales onto for his focus because I thought that they fit really well. Now I figure that's about all on my end. So why don't we go and catch up with Lane and see what she did?
Okay. Would you like to go first? So could I look at your art first and you talk to me a little bit about it?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm really excited to see what you've done. So let me go ahead. I'm gonna unspoiler. Oh, oh, he's wonderful. I love him.
Thank you.
This is where I got to find out a lot about Lane's character and that backstory. So if you want to look at that, go ahead and check out the iCard or the link in the description and go check out her video.
Oh, I love him.
Aw, yay!
Oh, I love him. That's so good. I wish I thought about fully putting that much detail. Oh, but he's so cool. I like that. That's such a nice, like, tragic backstory. That's such a good, like, character.
So after talking a bit back and forth about her character, we decided to switch over to mine.
Okay. Let me know. You looked at mine, and I can talk a little bit about mine.
Okay. Eee! Oh my god, look at this dude! Heck yeah!
Dude. But we both went a similar route with cleric because that's actually what I will say.
Heck yeah!
It's like so whenever I first like read the prompt and like reading it a handful of times, I was having a little bit of difficulty when I first started it. I was like, I don't know what to do. Also, ignore the fact that he has a green eye in there. I may have forgot that he had two hazel eyes. I just wanted to heterochromia. He also has a fanny pack. Because, of course, if you're a dad, you have a fanny pack.
Absolutely.
And I may have casually made a little bit of a headcanon that that's actually a mimic.
Ooh.
That he befriended on his old journeys with his old party that may or may not no longer be around.
Uh-oh.
But
we don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that. It's awkward. The little awkward face in the background anytime anyone mentions his old group.
I had so much fun collaborating with TheKittyCatLane. She is such a character, and she is so much fun just to talk to, and she got all of her stuff really quickly, and I feel really bad because I took so long, and it's honestly been just so much fun. But with that, I'm gonna go ahead, let TheKittyCatLane take it to give you a little bit of her information, and I'll see you around the compendium.
Hey. I'm TheKittyCatLane on pretty much everything. I have Twitter and Instagram, or I guess Twitter is now X, but we don't talk about that.
We don't talk about that.
But yeah, I'm not too active on them, but I try to post on there when I think about it. I'm mostly just active on my YouTube, TheKittyCatLane.
Also, just a fun behind-the-scenes bit. So the hand that's holding the fishing rod, one of my better hands, and two, I actually got a reference for that by running into my kitchen at the time and grabbing a baguette.
Yes! Let's go!
Just taking a picture of my hand holding a baguette.
Heck yeah!
I was little behind the scenes